Hey, everybody. Right now is the time to prep. And if you're serious about ensuring your family is fed through any kind of crisis, stockpile as much rice as you possibly can before December. Now, I'm not talking about grabbing a bag or two. No, I'm saying clear the shelves. Rice is cheap, versatile, and ridiculously calorie-dense. You can feed a family for weeks on just a few 50-pound bags. White rice, in particular, is the MVP of your prepper pantry because it lasts virtually forever if stored properly. Store it in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, seal those bad boys up in food-grade buckets, and forget about expiration dates because it'll be good 25-30 years from now. It's not just about bulk, either. Rice pairs with anything. Canned beans, add rice. Canned chicken, add rice. You want carbs during a food shortage, not some trendy health food nonsense. Brown rice is great nutritionally, but the oils in it make it spoil faster. So stick with white. And guess what? Rice prices are on the rise globally due to droughts and export restrictions, so waiting might mean you're paying double in 6 months. That's not hyperbole. The global rice market is tightening, and when that happens, the shelves empty fast. Stockpile it now while it's still cheap and abundant because, trust me, you do not want to be fighting someone in the aisles over a 20-pound bag when the shortages hit. Another absolute must stockpile item before December is oats. Specifically rolled oats, steel-cut oats, or even instant oats if that's what you prefer. Oats are an underrated prepping powerhouse that too many people overlook, and it's a mistake. First of all, oats are ridiculously shelf-stable. Properly stored in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, they can last up to 30 years. That's right, decades of breakfast security in a single 25-pound bag. And let me tell you, when food shortages hit or prices skyrocket even further, there's nothing like waking up to a hearty, nutritious bowl of oats that costs pennies per serving. But oats aren't just for breakfast. You can bake them into bread, muffins, and cookies, or use them as a base for granola bars, a lifesaver when you need portable high-energy snacks during emergencies. You can even grind them into oat flour for baking if traditional flour becomes scarce. Nutritionally, oats are a prepper's dream food. They're packed with fiber, which helps keep your digestive system running smoothly. Critical when your diet suddenly shifts to non-perishables. They're also loaded with protein, vitamins like B1, and minerals like magnesium, iron, and zinc. Nutrients that become even more essential when fresh produce and meat aren't readily available. What makes oats even more valuable is how little they cost compared to the nutritional punch they pack. A big bag of oats, even at today's inflated prices, is one of the cheapest calorie-dense, nutrient-rich foods you can get. And let's talk versatility. Oats are perfect for people with dietary restrictions, too. They're naturally gluten-free. Just double-check for cross-contamination if you're celiac. Vegan-friendly, and ideal for those looking to avoid heavily processed foods. Now, here's why stocking up on oats right now is urgent. Global grain markets are under immense strain due to climate change, rising energy costs, and geopolitical instability. Wheat gets most of the media attention, but oats are affected too. Canada, one of the world's largest oat exporters, has been dealing with drought and reduced yields, which means fewer oats on the market. On top of that, as consumers look for healthier, plant-based options, demand for oats has been surging. Just look at the explosion of oat milk sales. This all means oats are poised to become more expensive and possibly less available in the near future. If you've got the storage space, consider buying bulk bags of oats from a warehouse store or co-op. Prices are still reasonable, but don't count on that lasting long. Store them in airtight containers, away from moisture and pests, and you'll have a food source that's not just cheap and filling, but also incredibly adaptable to almost any meal plan. Trust me, when everyone else is fighting over overpriced cereal, you'll be the one with enough oats to weather the storm, and then some. Next on the list, and this is non-negotiable, stockpile as much peanut butter as you possibly can before December. I'm not talking about grabbing a single jar for the pantry. I mean clearing shelves and thinking in terms of pounds, not ounces. Peanut butter is one of the most efficient foods you can stockpile because it's high in calories, loaded with healthy fats and protein, and incredibly shelf-stable. A sealed jar of peanut butter can last anywhere from 2 to 5 years. But here's the thing. Its real value isn't just in its longevity, but in how nutrient-dense and versatile it is for survival situations. Let's break it down. One serving of peanut butter, just 2 tablespoons, has around 190 calories, 8 grams of protein, and 16 grams of fat. That's a ton of energy packed into a tiny amount of food, making it ideal for sustaining your body during physically demanding times or when food supplies are limited. Fat is critical for survival, especially in colder months, because it keeps you warm and provides long-term energy that your body burns slower than carbs. Without enough fat in your diet, your body won't function efficiently, and peanut butter delivers it in spades. It's also insanely versatile. Spread it on crackers, mix it into oatmeal, blend it into smoothies, or eat it straight out of the jar with a spoon. It doesn't matter. It's always good. Plus, it pairs perfectly with other prepper staples. Got rice? Add a dollop of peanut butter for flavor and added calories. Stocked up on canned beans? Stir in some peanut butter and spices to make a high-protein, flavorful dish. It can even serve as a base for emergency soups, sauces, or energy balls when you need something quick and portable. Now, if you're thinking about shelf life, here's a pro tip. Natural peanut butter doesn't last as long because the oils tend to separate and spoil over time. Go for the standard commercial brands, Skippy, Jif, or store brand equivalents. They have stabilizers that keep them fresh much longer. Worried about sugar or additives? Don't be. In a crisis, survival takes precedence over organic or all-natural preferences. Focus on calories and longevity first. Nutritional perfection can wait. Here's why now is the time to stock up. Peanut butter prices are creeping up thanks to the rising cost of peanuts, labor shortages, and increased demand for shelf-stable, high-protein foods. Peanuts are also vulnerable to climate change, with droughts and unpredictable weather threatening crop yields in major producing regions like the U.S. and India. Once supplies tighten, peanut butter will disappear fast because it's a staple not just for preppers, but for families, food banks, and emergency relief organizations. If you've got extra storage space, prioritize larger containers, as they're often cheaper per ounce. And don't forget to check holiday sales. Stores often discount items like peanut butter as part of pantry stock-up promotions. Seal your jars in airtight bins or keep them in a cool, dry place to maximize their shelf life. You'll thank yourself later when a single jar of peanut butter becomes an invaluable source of energy, nutrition, and comfort during hard times. All right, if you're serious about prepping, honey is the next item you need to stockpile. And let me tell you, this golden liquid isn't just food, it's a survival superfood. Honey has a unique advantage over almost every other item in your pantry. It never spoils. Archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are over 3,000 years old, and it's still perfectly edible. That means every jar of honey you buy today is essentially a lifetime investment in food security. If that's not enough reason to stockpile it, let's dive into why honey is a prepper's dream. First, honey is pure, unadulterated energy. It's a natural source of sugar, which translates to quick and easily digestible carbohydrates. In a survival scenario, your body burns through calories at a rapid pace, especially if you're doing physically demanding tasks like chopping wood, hauling water, or even just staying warm in cold weather. Honey provides that immediate energy boost you'll need when fatigue sets in. Plus, unlike processed sugars, honey contains trace amounts of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, which can help support your immune system when stress and limited nutrition take a toll on your body. But honey isn't just food, it's medicine. In survival situations, injuries and illnesses are common, and honey is one of the most versatile natural remedies you can have on hand. It's a powerful antibacterial and antifungal agent, making it an excellent wound dressing. If you don't have access to antibiotics or modern medical supplies, you can literally apply honey to a cut or burn to prevent infection and promote healing. Sore throat? Cough? Honey is nature's cough suppressant. It coats your throat and provides soothing relief while its antimicrobial properties fight the underlying infection. There's a reason honey has been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years. It works. Honey is also one of the most versatile items in your prepper pantry. It's perfect as a sweetener for oatmeal, tea, coffee, or baked goods. If you've stockpiled dry grains like wheat or rice, a spoonful of honey can transform bland food into something comforting and palatable. Need an emergency electrolyte drink? Mix honey with water, salt, and a squeeze of lemon if you have it. It's not just refreshing, but also hydrating when you're sweating or dehydrated. Now let's talk about why you need to act now. Bees are in crisis globally, and honey production is declining due to colony collapse disorder, pesticides, and habitat destruction. As a result, honey prices have been steadily climbing, and the trend shows no signs of slowing down. On top of that, adulterated honey, cheap honey diluted with corn syrup or other additives, is flooding the market. If you wait too long, you might end up paying premium prices for subpar quality. Right now, you can still find good deals on local or raw honey at farmers markets, bulk stores, and even major retailers during holiday sales. If you're storing honey long-term, here's a tip. Keep it in glass jars rather than plastic. Plastic can degrade over time and isn't airtight, while glass preserves honey's quality indefinitely. If your honey crystallizes, don't panic. That's a natural process. Just place the jar in warm water and it'll return to its liquid state. Crystallized honey is just as good as liquid honey and can even be easier to spread or use in baking. So don't just buy 1 or 2 jars. Go big. Honey isn't just a sweet treat. It's a multi-purpose, high-value item that can save your life in more ways than one when the chips are down. Whether you're using it as food, medicine, or even barter currency in a crisis, honey is an absolute must for every serious prepper. 5. Let's talk about powdered milk, one of the most underrated but essential items you absolutely need to stockpile before December. This isn't just for people who like milk in their coffee. This is a full-on survival staple that can mean the difference between scraping by and thriving in a long-term crisis. Powdered milk might not sound glamorous, but it's one of the most versatile, nutrient-dense, and shelf-stable items you can add to your prepper pantry. The best part? It's lightweight, compact, and can be stored for up to 20 years if properly packaged. Let's start with nutrition. Powdered milk is packed with essential nutrients: calcium, vitamin D, potassium, protein, and even small amounts of vitamin A and B vitamins. These are nutrients your body needs to maintain strong bones, proper muscle function, and overall health, especially when you're dealing with a limited or imbalanced diet during a crisis. Calcium is particularly critical. Without enough of it, your body starts to pull calcium from your bones, leading to weakness and long-term health issues. Powdered milk ensures you get this vital mineral even when fresh dairy isn't an option. Now let's talk about its versatility. Reconstituted powdered milk can be used just like fresh milk in cooking and baking. Want to make pancakes with that big bag of flour you've been stockpiling? You'll need milk. How about creamy soups or casseroles? Milk. Even mashed potatoes taste better with a splash of milk. But it doesn't stop there. Powdered milk can also be used to make homemade yogurt, cheese, or even coffee creamer if you're in a pinch. You can use it dry as well. Sprinkle it into oatmeal, add it to smoothies, or mix it into dry baking mixes for extra nutrition. Another major advantage of powdered milk: it's incredibly space efficient. A single box or bag of powdered milk can make several gallons of liquid milk once reconstituted. That's a huge win for storage, especially if you're working with limited pantry space. Plus, because it's lightweight, it's an ideal item to include in bug-out bags or emergency kits. Unlike liquid milk, which needs refrigeration and has a short shelf life, powdered milk is stable at room temperature and resistant to spoilage. Why stockpile it now? Dairy prices are going up, and powdered milk is no exception. Climate issues like droughts and heat waves are slamming dairy production globally, and that's before we even talk about supply chain problems, labor shortages, and rising energy costs. The cost of milk is already reflecting these challenges, and powdered milk, being shelf-stable and in demand for emergencies, will only get pricier. The holidays often bring discounts on bulk food items, so this is the perfect time to grab it at a lower price. And don't forget, powdered milk has a long history as a barter item. In a real crisis, you could trade powdered milk for just about anything because people know its value. When storing powdered milk, keep it in an airtight container, ideally in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, and place those bags in a food-grade bucket to protect against moisture, light, and pests. If you can, get the non-fat variety, as the absence of fat extends its shelf life significantly. And here's a little trick. Stockpile some powdered chocolate or instant coffee to go with it. Not only can you whip up comforting drinks like hot cocoa or lattes, but you can also keep morale up, something that's just as critical as physical sustenance during tough times. Powdered milk isn't just a backup for fresh milk. It's a lifeline, a nutritional powerhouse, and an adaptable ingredient that will keep you and your family going strong when the grocery stores are empty and fresh dairy is a distant memory. Trust me, when the crunch comes, you'll be glad you stocked up on this unsung hero of the prepper pantry. 6. Let's dive into lentils, the unsung hero of protein-packed, shelf-stable food that every prepper needs to stockpile immediately. Lentils might not have the flashy appeal of canned meats or shiny survival kits, but let me tell you, these little legumes are a powerhouse of nutrition, versatility, and long-term storage potential that you simply can't overlook. They're dirt cheap, lightweight, and, most importantly, built to last for years in the right conditions. If you're serious about prepping for an uncertain future, lentils need to take up some prime real estate in your stockpile. First off, the nutritional profile of lentils is second to none. They're loaded with plant-based protein, around 18 grams per cup when cooked, making them a critical staple when meat is scarce or too expensive. Protein is the building block of muscle repair and energy, and without it, you'll burn out fast when facing physically demanding tasks like chopping wood, hauling water, or fortifying your shelter. Lentils are also packed with fiber, which keeps your digestive system running smoothly, an often overlooked aspect of survival. When you're eating lots of non-perishables, fiber can mean the difference between staying healthy or struggling with digestion issues. But it doesn't stop there. Lentils are a gold mine of essential nutrients, including iron, potassium, folate, and magnesium, all of which are critical for energy production, brain function, and immune support. Iron, in particular, is crucial during times of stress or reduced calorie intake because it keeps your blood oxygenated and your energy levels stable. And for anyone relying on a mostly plant-based diet during a crisis, lentils are one of the best sources of bioavailable iron out there. Now let's talk versatility. Lentils cook faster than most other dried legumes, which is a big deal when fuel and time are limited. You don't need to soak them like beans, just rinse, boil, and they're ready to eat in about 20-30 minutes. They pair with almost anything: rice, pasta, canned tomatoes, powdered broth, or even spices like cumin and turmeric. You can turn them into soups, stews, curries, or even veggie patties. Toss them into salads for a protein boost, or mash them up as a spread for crackers. The options are endless, and their neutral flavor means they take on whatever seasoning or ingredients you've got on hand. Storage? Lentils are a prepper's dream. Properly stored in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, they can last up to 10 years or more. They're naturally resistant to pests compared to other grains, and their small size means you can pack a lot into a small space. A 25-pound bag of lentils can provide hundreds of servings. Think about the security that brings during long-term emergencies. And they're lightweight, so you can easily stash them in bug-out bags without adding a ton of weight. Why stock up now? Because lentils are still relatively cheap, for now. The global pulse market is facing pressure due to increased demand, unpredictable weather patterns, and reduced yields in major producing countries like India and Canada. Lentils have become a popular alternative protein source as more people move away from meat, which has driven up demand. And here's the kicker. Lentils are a staple in food aid programs, so if a global crisis worsens, supply chains will prioritize large-scale relief efforts over retail availability. Translation? You could see them disappear from store shelves or skyrocket in price in the coming months. Grab lentils wherever you can, bulk bins, warehouse stores, or even online. Don't just think about 1 or 2 pounds. Think in terms of 25-pound sacks. Store them in airtight containers or buckets to protect against moisture and pests. Pro tip: add some dried herbs and spices to your stockpile, like bay leaves, which can be tossed into lentil soups or stews to add flavor without needing fresh ingredients. When the world around you is uncertain, lentils offer not just sustenance, but resilience. They're cheap, reliable, and one of the smartest investments you can make for your family's long-term survival. When everyone else is scrambling for overpriced protein bars and canned meats, you'll be sitting comfortably with a pot of hearty lentil stew that feeds a crowd and keeps you going strong. 7. Let me shine a spotlight on pasta, a survival superstar you absolutely need to stockpile in bulk before December. Pasta is one of those foods that people take for granted, but when the chips are down, it transforms into an irreplaceable staple for feeding a family on a budget or weathering long-term emergencies. It's cheap, calorie-dense, non-perishable, and, most importantly, adaptable to nearly every meal situation. If your pantry isn't packed with pasta right now, you're leaving a gaping hole in your food security plan. First off, pasta is one of the most efficient foods for calories per dollar. A single 1-pound box of pasta provides over 1,600 calories, enough to sustain an adult for almost an entire day. Multiply that by 10, 20, or even 100 boxes, and you're looking at a mountain of affordable, long-lasting sustenance. Pasta is primarily made of durum wheat, which gives it a high carbohydrate content, critical for energy. During a crisis, carbs are your body's primary fuel, and pasta delivers them in spades. But it's not just carbs. Many pasta varieties are now fortified with essential nutrients like iron, folic acid, and B vitamins, making it a surprisingly well-rounded source of nutrition. One of pasta's greatest strengths is its versatility. Think about it. You can pair pasta with almost any other food in your stockpile. Got canned tomatoes? Boom. Instant marinara. Canned tuna? Hello, tuna casserole. Stockpiled beans? Make a hearty pasta e fagioli. Even if all you have is some olive oil, garlic powder, and salt, you've got a simple but satisfying meal. Pasta works in soups, casseroles, salads, or even as a standalone dish. And let's not forget that it comes in a mind-boggling variety of shapes and sizes. Spaghetti, penne, macaroni, farfalle, each one bringing a slightly different texture and purpose to your emergency meal planning. Storage is another area where pasta shines. It's lightweight, compact, and incredibly easy to store. Sealed in its original packaging, pasta has a shelf life of 2-3 years, but if you repackage it into mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, you can extend that to 10 years or more. Unlike other grains or foods, pasta doesn't attract pests as readily, but it's still a good idea to keep it in food-grade buckets to ensure maximum protection from moisture, rodents, and bugs. A single 5-gallon bucket can hold about 20 pounds of pasta. That's enough to feed a family of 4 for weeks if rationed carefully. Why is now the time to stockpile pasta? Global wheat supplies are under immense strain due to droughts, floods, and geopolitical tensions. Countries that produce large amounts of wheat, like Ukraine and Russia, have faced disruptions in their exports, driving up the price of anything wheat-based, including pasta. Inflation and supply chain issues are already causing pasta prices to inch up, and if you wait too long, you'll be paying a premium for what is currently one of the cheapest staples in the grocery store. Plus, pasta is a high-demand item during the holidays, so shelves are already getting cleared out faster than usual. Here's another reason to prioritize pasta. It's an excellent barter item. In a true crisis, people will crave comfort foods, and pasta is one of the easiest ways to provide that. A single bag of spaghetti could be worth its weight in gold when someone needs a quick, familiar meal to feed their family. It's also incredibly easy to portion and distribute, making it ideal for sharing or trading without wasting your supply. Pro tip: stock up on a variety of pasta types to keep your meals interesting and ensure you have options for different dishes. Don't forget to grab complimentary items like powdered cheese, dried herbs, and tomato paste to round out your meals. These small additions can elevate a simple bowl of pasta into something much more satisfying and morale-boosting. When food security becomes a daily concern, pasta's affordability, versatility, and long shelf life make it an absolute lifesaver. Stockpile it now while it's still cheap and plentiful, because when the shelves are bare, you'll be glad you've got a pantry full of this reliable, carb-loaded powerhouse, and thank you for watching.